So you guys have heard me talking about turning your voice into profit, right? Like I've been talking about this all year long, right? So what do I mean when I say this? So some of you guys who may not have joined my challenge yet, you may not know exactly what I mean when I say this. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit more about what it means to actually use your words to create opportunities for yourself, to actually use your words to influence others in order to share your value, to gain access to the clients that fits your niche, right? To gain access to your customers, to gain access to jobs and promotions and people that you want to network with or be around. Like all of these different lanes, whether it's corporate or entrepreneurship, your voice is going to be what activates those gateways, those open doors, those opportunities. This is what I mean when I say turn your voice into profit, because you're turning your voice into a literal speaking avenue for yourself to gain the different opportunities that you desire. A lot of people shy away from speaking. They don't want to talk to nobody. Nobody wants to talk to anybody. However, you do want to gain revenue or you do want to have income. And if you're going to do that, if you're ever going to get a job, or if you're ever going to start a business, or if you're ever going to do anything that causes you to work, right? You're going to have to communicate. You're going to have to speak to other people. And what people really love and gravitate towards is an individual who exudes confidence, an individual who knows what they're talking about. They have wisdom and expertise in the talent, in the lane, in the industry or niche that they are in. So this is why using your voice is going to be extremely important in regards to gaining more things for yourself, more financial freedom, more stability, more income, whatever the case may be, more access to your time, more freedom in your time. All of those things require you to create value, create offers, create something for yourself that others need. So in the world of business, you literally are constantly solving a pain point for someone. Someone has an issue and you are being hired to solve that issue, right? Someone has a desire for something that they cannot get to, or someone has a outcome, a goal for something, and they can't get to it themselves. So they need someone else to help. Insert you, right? This is where your value, your talent, your gift, right? This is where that opportunity comes into hand for you. Now, on your side, what you need to do is actually know what you are talking about, right? You have to have the years of experience. You have to have the knowledge and value to be able to offer someone something that can help solve their pain point. So, what do you offer? That's what you have to come to the table with. What do you offer? What do you want to present? What is your value? Meaning, what is your expertise? What talent do you have? What problem are you solving? This is what begins to shape your words. This is what begins to shape the strategy. This is what begins to influence others to buy from you, to purchase from you, to hire you, because they see what you bring to the table. So that's where we start. What is your niche? What is your value? What is your offer? What is your services? What are the products? What are you offering to solve a pain point or to help someone else who's in need? Now that we got that part underway, what you want to do now is learn how to present that to people, right? Influence is a gift. Knowing how to speak and communicate is a gift. You ever been in a meeting or been in a conference or just around a group of people and you were thinking to say something and you wanted to say something, but then someone else said it and you were like, man, they said that way better than I could ever say it. That is a talent. That is a gift. That means that person prepared or they over time have garnered the skills of how to put their words in such an order that it influences someone else to want to listen, pay attention, or buy from them, right? So in knowing how to do this, that is something that everyone needs to learn how to do when it comes to offering their talents, gifts, services, products, value to someone else. So this is called mastery. You're mastering your words, you're mastering your gifts and talents and value and learning how to shape that into a service for someone else. I know. No one wants to talk all the time. Everyone wants to be in the back. Everyone wants to write on paper. Everyone wants to send an email. It's a lot more comfortable that way. I understand. However, you wanting to stay in your comfort is not going to allow you to get to that goal, that dream that you secretly have. You want to have more control over your time. You want to have more control over your day. However, you will not receive the level that you are seeking until you go to the next level that you need to get to, until you get out of your comfort zone and actually bet on yourself and bet on the talents that God has placed inside of you, the inherent value that God has placed inside of you, the years of experience that you learned in all of those businesses. Until you take all of that and move forward to another level, you're going to continue to live on the level that you are aware of, that you are familiar with. So I'm challenging you to step outside of that, to go to new heights so that you can experience new things, so that you can experience new freedoms, so that you can experience new wealth and new income. This is what I am challenging you to do. And I don't just say this just for motivational purposes. I mean, it's great if it inspires you and motivates you, but I'm someone who was a slow fashion designer for 8 years and still continuing to do that in a different capacity. But for 8 years, I ran a slow fashion business to where I had a brick and mortar store as well as e-commerce. And I was able to, within 2 to 3 years, gain access to enterprise businesses to start doing pop-up experiences there. That's all through my words. That's all through contacting them, reaching out, showing up, letting them know my value, letting them see my products, why they should select my clothing apparel over everybody else. I've been able to gain access into W hotels for like residencies for a weekend, for a week, for months. Like these are things that I was able to do, and that's through influence. I was able to do that at the W Hotel within DC, as well as then have an opportunity in LA. Just for me being able to show my expertise and give that value and be able to use my words to show what I've done in the past, what I can do for them in the future, how I can bring more customers to their hotel, how I can help give their current customers more experiences, right? And how we can partner together, right? This is me helping their business as well as their business helping out my business. So it really just shows in that regard, like the value that we both can offer to each other to have a beautiful collaboration, turning my words into profit. In previous years, when I was in corporate, I was an executive recruiter. So I would have different companies, risk assessment, wealth assessment, nonprofits, different corporate organizations reaching out to my organization in regards to placing candidates for their companies, right? They needed CMOs and they needed HR directors and they needed project managers. They needed all of these different people. So I was able to work with different candidates and present them to them to let them see their value, right? So that these people can now gain access to higher titles, promotions. They can access companies that they might have never ever considered before. Or maybe that company wouldn't have considered them before because they wouldn't have known about them, right? This is like me giving them access and visibility to high level quality organizations with higher salaries in order for them to gain more financial freedom, more income, maybe more freedom of their time, more flexibility, work-life balance, right? So like me being able to work in that capacity, I was able to garner promotion and job interviews and things like that for those individuals. All of this is using communication. You have to be able to influence the hiring manager of why they need to speak to that candidate, right? Why they need to even move forward with them, hire them, all of the things. This is all in how you influence someone with your words, turning your words into profit, right? To gain the interview, to gain the income, to gain the higher salary. I've been able to get speaking engagements and get hired for speaking engagements, right? Just solely off of me knowing how to be a business owner, starting from scratch, pitching for grants and winning them. All of these different things is me having to speak, me having to use my words to influence other people to give me access, give me more income, give me revenue. So I don't just speak just to speak, right? I want to show you guys how I have done this for over a decade in corporate as well as in entrepreneurship, even in coaching, right? All I'm doing is speaking all day long, building people's confidence, allowing them to see what their niche is, what their value is, and how they can communicate that to their customers, their clients, other coaches. Like these are things that I'm constantly doing. Show them how to create a website on their own and create a brand for themselves. Like these are all things that I have done and excelled in. And I want to teach others how to do it. Whether you're in corporate or whether you're an entrepreneur, you're going to have to know how to use your words. And if you don't grow within the confidence in that and leading in the true leadership of that, you will find yourself constantly on a hamster wheel, doing the same thing, getting the same results, and watching your dream from afar because you won't take that next step. My Turn Your Voice into Profit challenge literally is about you going into the lane that you are called to, stepping into the lane that you were called to dominate in, using your skill set, that wisdom, all those years of expertise, using and turning those words into influence others to buy from you, to pay attention, and to move forward within the solutions that you have. This is what Turn Your Voice into Profit is all about. It's about gaining that confidence, stepping into your rightful self, stepping into the self that you know you are to become, and then leading within that way. If you haven't checked it out yet, I want you to go to edifythesoul.com, click on the Turn Your Voice into Profit challenge, and join me in the next one. For I know that it's going to be something that's going to cause a lot of breakthrough, a lot of opportunity, and it's going to be a complete game changer, not only professionally, but for your entire life. Step into the lane that you know that you were called to be in. I look forward to seeing you guys there.